Hello and welcome back to the next episode of In Our Heads, episode 2 of season 2. In this episode, we're going to be talking about a few different topics. We're going to be talking about the final 50 KISS shows that was just recently released, namely the last two KISS shows, that are going to be December 1st and 2nd in New York City. We're going to be discussing that and getting into some side topics that spurn off of that. We're also going to be talking about our favorite KISS videos and what KISS video we saw for the very first time. What was our first video that we saw? We're going to have a little bit of discussion about that. We're also going to be talking about the latest Off the Soundboard release from Poughkeepsie. We're going to be talking about that choice of, is that a good choice? We're going to be talking about what we think based on what we have heard off of the songs that's been released so far as singles. We're going to talk about what we think the next release could be and all kinds of other side conversations that we get into as a result of just talking KISS. Joining me as one of my co-hosts in this video is going to be AJ from AJ's Happy Fun Time channel on YouTube and AJ Zetro 1975 off of Instagram. And also joining me, Xander from Kiss Army Things, YouTube, all social media, Kiss Army Things. So we're going to have a real good time, and I just want to give a little disclaimer that AJ was having difficulty with his webcam during the recording of this video, so we tried to edit around it the best I could, but it did result in some fun little happy accidents that you guys get to experience. So let's get right into it. So I'm back for another episode, and I've got AJ with me, and I've got Xander with me. So guys, I'm going to let you take the floor, take the mic. I'm going to let you talk about your social media and everything. And it's good to have you back. Good to have you in our heads video, Xander, so you can get in our heads with us, and we can talk about these topics that we have today: the good, the bad, the ugly. And hopefully it's mostly good. Hopefully it's a little bad and maybe not so much ugly. I'm sorry. I'm not the happy all the time KISS fan like a lot of you guys are. That's just me though. You either love me or hate me for it. So we'll start with our guest is kind of mine and AJ's guest. Matthew's not able to be here. He sends his condolences. He's just busy with a lot of conventions, and I met him at a convention, and I talked about that in one of my videos. He's getting ready for another one this coming weekend, so maybe we'll have Matthew in episode 3 in a month or so. So we'll start with our guest, Mr. Xander down here from Kiss Army Things. Man, how you doing? Let's tell everybody who doesn't know you, but if they know you or know me, they probably know you, and so. Go ahead and tell everybody who might be watching this video that doesn't know who you are, what you guys are about.
Sure. Well, my name is Xander. I'm from the Kiss Army Things podcast. My wife and I, my brother and I, have been doing our Kiss Army Things channel for maybe a couple years now. We're basically just kind of continuing on the fun of being a KISS fan. We have a podcast that everybody can subscribe to on YouTube, and you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram, where we post some other extra KISS content, some KISS merch, some KISS memes. So yeah, we're really just kind of like every other KISS fan. We're just celebrating the fun of being a KISS fan and posting all kinds of KISS memes and KISS merch and all that kind of fun stuff. So yeah, anyway, it's really great to be here. Thank you for having me on.
AJ, Good to be back in another episode. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Good to be back. Sorry, Xander, you didn't get the memo on the Hotter Than Hell shirt today.
Man, I totally could have participated too. Dang it. Man, next time. Let me know next time.
You guys know me, or some do, some don't. I'm AJ. I have been a Kiss fan for over 40 years now. And I'm in the Kiss horror, metal, beer. I have an Instagram account, AJRZetro, and 75. And I have a YouTube channel, AJ's Happy Fun Time channel. That covers mostly horror, but I have talked about Kiss and rock and comics and toys and just whatever the hell I feel like talking about that day, and wrestling and whatever. So check it out. I'm hopefully my buddy Brant puts a little link down there at the bottom for you to get to it if you want to check it out. And I don't know, it's good to be back, and I'm ready to go, man.
Yeah, definitely. So you what beer you got there? I know what Xander's drinking. Xander's got.
I know. I don't get that. I can't find it.
What flavor we got today?
Root beer.
Root beer.
My wife's been hogging the root beer. I've been drinking cola. So now that she's not here and it's just me, I get the root beer.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. So
I'm drinking beer flavored beer. Getting beer flavored beer. Getting ready for St. Patrick's Day. Little old Guinness. It's not one of my favorites, but you got to have a few just before or during St. Patrick's Day. So, and I'm 1/8 Irish. I may not look it, but I'm 1/8 Irish.
There you go.
Well,
Cheers.
I'm the lamest of us tonight. I'm actually drinking, believe it or not, I'm just drinking a plain old Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar Cherry. So,
hey, that's still Kiss reference though.
That's still Kiss reference. It's cherry. There you go.
Hey,
there you go.
That's awesome.
I think it's awesome that Kiss is getting ready to they've hit their 50th anniversary of being a band, that they're getting ready to have their 50th anniversary of releasing their first album. That's why I don't think we've seen the last of them after December 2nd. Let's go ahead and go into this. Let's go ahead and go into this first topic. So, they have released the last 50, the 50 dates. And with the last date, and I think Xander has tickets. I don't have a ticket. AJ, you don't have tickets, do you?
No.
I was toying with the idea of going to Knoxville and possibly going with Matthew and Casey. My wife's already told me she'll go on the trip, but she ain't going to the show. So I'm still on the fence about whether I'm going to do it or not. I don't know. I'm still on the fence about it. It'll be one of those things I'll wake up and I'll decide I'm buying a Kiss ticket today. Or I'm going to look and see and they don't have any left. Or, they've all been sold and somebody wants $6,000 for one.
Right.
But they've announced the last 50 shows, and the last show being December the 2nd. Do any of y'all feel like that's the last time that Kiss will perform on a stage together in makeup? That tickets will be able to be purchased?
I don't think so. I think there'll be a Vegas residency, like Gene was just slyly snuck in there the other day, of some sort. Maybe not a tour, maybe not like a year-long thing, but maybe a few weeks a year or something like that. I don't think it's done, but they are not getting any younger. That's for sure too. So
I mean, because I know people that are pissed with the fact that there's a possibility that Kiss is going to perform together without makeup at like some kind of what if they bring conventions back and you can go to this convention, a Kiss will be there performing acoustically without makeup. Mm-hmm. Okay, is that still technically or is the last end of the road show with the big stage, the makeup, the costumes? But there is a possibility that as long as Gene or Paul is alive, there is a possibility that you will be able to see Kiss in some form, with or without makeup, performing somewhere together in their current form with Tommy and Eric, or with whoever else they stick behind them. Because I mean, if like Eric was to be like, "Hey, send in my contract, I'm not going to renew," find yourself another drummer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like they did with the other farewell. We weren't saying farewell to the fans. We were saying farewell to Ace and Peter. We were to that with farewell. So end of the road. Okay, they're not going on the road anymore, like as a tour. But we're not necessarily done.
But we didn't say we weren't going to be on We didn't say we weren't going to be on a boat.
Right. We're not on the road. We're on the boat.
We didn't say we weren't going to be not on the road, but at a Vegas residency, and that's the only place you can see us. You have to come to us because we're not on the road.
I mean, I hear that little double talk in there.
Xander, I'm very curious. I love the way your mind works when I watch your videos. I want to hear your thoughts.
As far as the end of the road goes, I think that this is their way of saying this is the last time for everybody to get out and see them in the way that we're seeing them. This is the last time you're going to see Kiss in makeup, in costume, performing a full 20-song set list with a spider, or they got the pods now and whatever else they're bringing. Yeah, they may for fun because they want to, or fans want to. They may play acoustically somewhere, or after the last farewell tour, they ended up playing one song on the Winter Olympics, and it was pre-recorded music with live vocals, and it was a one-off thing for the Winter Olympics. Those things, I think we can still anticipate those happening. But as far as you and I and being able to actually buy tickets and get out and see the band in the way that or at least I have been the past 20 years, it's over. No, I think that's it. If they do a Vegas residency, it'll be because the last one got canceled and they want to wait until these tickets are sold in order to sell a residency that, for 1 month you can come see. Who knows? I think that right now it's just probably best to just enjoy Kiss the way we have them, because I think that what they're trying to say is, just in case something were to happen either to Gene or to Paul, they're saying this is our way of being able to go out on our own terms and actually sum it up. There may be something in the future, an opportunity that comes up, and who wouldn't take the opportunity? If I were Gene and Paul, I would want to play, forever. If I'm a Kiss fan, I want to see them forever. But both of those aren't going to happen. So this is their way of saying, look, to any average person like myself, come see them now. You may get to see them on television playing a song at the Super Bowl or some, mashup medley, but it's not going to be the Kiss that we all know and love, where it's a full on rock show. Yeah, they may do some corporate show. They may do a one-off TV performance. Yeah, they might play on SNL or play on Stern or whatever, and it may or may not be in makeup, but it's not going to be the real Kiss that we know, where Kiss goes all out. We may get little sprinklings. I hope, at least, because I, don't want to see my favorite band quit. But like, AJ said, they're not getting any younger. So I think this is their way of kind of making sure that they can at least go out on their own terms. You look at Ozzy, and Ozzy, unfortunately, because of his health, isn't going to be able to go out the way he wanted to, the way he deserves to go out. That's kind of what happens when you extend things past maybe what they should. And I do think that Ozzy in some way will get to, maybe have one final show or one this or that, but it's not going to be the way he wants it to be. It's not going to be him on stage doing a 20-song set list running from left to right, So I think, just like the first Kiss farewell tour, that wasn't them going out on their own terms. That was them saying, well, we're not happy anymore. We're not having fun. So let's, before this leaks out onto the stage, and before the fans start realizing we're not happy, let's just kind of go out on, let's just put the dog down, basically. And because, there was no final 2 shows in New York. There was no big blowout. There was, let's just get these dates over with and done so that we can kill Kiss, because we're done with it. Fortunately, there was light at the end of the tunnel, and they're now able to go out on their own terms. You look at them on stage right now, they're happier than they've ever been. I see Gene and Paul smiling on Stern. That was the best, because Gene or Paul was messing with Gene and putting his arm around his and, throwing a pick or whatever it was. You could tell that they're just really enjoying what they're doing. So in the event that, because Paul had a bike crash, you guys see that where Paul crashed his bike and I think he hurt his hip. He just had bone spurs in his foot. There's all this stuff that can happen, and in the event that something really bad happens, at least Kiss can say that they had their end of the road tour. They got to play for all the fans that they wanted to play for. And then whatever happens in 2024 happens in 2024 and beyond. If they want to do Vegas, go for it. If they want to quit and go off to some island no one's ever heard of and never talk to any fan again, that's their decision. I'm just going to enjoy it while I have them because, right now Kiss is a very limited engagement. And I do have one more show to see them in Indianapolis, the state where I'm from. So in Indiana, I'm very happy. What happens after that, I don't know, but I'm going to enjoy this last show. I know that. That was a mouthful. Sorry.
That's okay.
That's good.
That's exactly what I wanted to hear. Couple follow-up questions to that. Now,
Sure.
asking really hard and really, really hard-hitting questions.
Okay.
Do either of you, I'll let you guys answer first. Do you feel like that Kiss has already passed their expiration date?
I'll let you answer first and then I'll answer.
I don't think so. No, because when I saw them, they still. I mean, the only elephant in the room is obviously Paul's voice, and they're trying to fix that with the tracks, which do piss people off sometimes. But I was too at first, but then I realized it's like you need a little help. What did I call it before? Musical Viagra is what I call it.
Vocal Viagra.
Vocal Viagra.
Yeah, I mean, you get older, you need a little help maybe, but musically and as far as the show goes, and I mean, it was still a great show, And I actually I stayed till the end. I never ever stayed till the very very end because I wanted to get the hell out of there because I'm an old crabby old man and I want to just get away from people. But I stayed till the end. I stayed till the end to the confetti, and it was great. I had a little tear in my eye. I was like, "This is still good." But you kind of like you said, you don't want you want them to go out like on top, and not have to leave on like a down note like Ozzy, And I really don't think they're past. They can still write. They can still play. They can still put on a show. They can still, Is it as good as and great as it was 45, 50 years ago? No, but it's still very enjoyable, and it's still Kiss. So, but they're not getting any younger. So I don't know if I want to see 80-year-old Gene up there singing, put my log in your fireplace, So
I don't know. I kind of would want to see that.
That'd be funny.
I want to see 80-year-old Gene singing Christine 16.
One day, if they keep going, one day it's going to be true. I'm 93. You're 16. They're going to be 93.
Right. Really will be 93. I'm 93. Oh shit! I am 93.
I am 93.
What's the lyric?
Oh my God. Get me the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll answer before Xander does. I have not seen Kiss. So, I mean, a lot of people, if you want to be honest, people be like, listen, you're talking about something that you haven't even really experienced. Because, watching it on YouTube is not, even if I put it on the 70-inch TV and turn on the surround sound, it's not the same as being there. I know that. I've been to enough concerts in my life to know that watching it on TV is not the same as being there. You don't feel the electricity. You don't feel the heat from the smoke pot, from the fire pods. It's not the same as being there. And I know that. But just my observation of what I've seen on YouTube, and I guess the reason why it becomes more magnified to me is because I'm not distracted by the largeness of the show, the bombasticness of the show. I am a little blah about the set list. I mean, there's nothing really on the set list that excites me. And it's been the same set list for the most part for, a long time. So there's nothing really on the set list that excites me. But if they were like to pull out like a set list of deep tracks, or stuff that, say, maybe not even deep tracks, just stuff that was hits. They've just not played them in a long time. Stuff that's not been in the set. They were like to throw the whole set out and be like, okay, out of 20 songs, we're keeping 5 of them. What's 15 songs are we putting in? And let's look at songs that we've not played in 10 years. That's a lot of work, though. With the type of show that they put on now, that's very timed, technology, things have to be good. Things have to go a certain way, go off at a certain time. It's all programmed. It's all coded. That's a lot of work to rewrite all of that. You'd basically have to start all over with a new script. And I don't think that's going to happen. They might change out a song here or there like they've done. That's another thing I was going to talk about, like what do we think the set list would look like for the last 50 shows. But I don't think that's going to be a whole lot of changes. I expect maybe less than 4 song changes, the whole final so-and-so dates. I think if we get 5 or above, it would shock me. And shock me. And we hopefully we don't get that one back. Don't even get me started on that. But I guess because I haven't seen them in person and I've not been distracted by the show, I get to focus in on what I do see and what I do hear. And what I hear is Gene still sounds good, but even Gene is starting to razzle a little bit. Paul is nowhere near what he used to be, but it's understandable, the age he is. And sometimes Eric, to me, I miss the Eric of Revenge. And I know Eric's older too now. I saw a picture of Eric the other day close up without makeup. And I'm like, dude, when did you get so old? God, you're old now. God, he's old. He looked like one of those wrinkly dogs. I can't even remember the name of them. But I was like, man, when did you get old? And but sometimes he looks like he's just going through the motions back there. And
100%.
And he's very limited to what he can and can't do, because I play drums at church and we play to a click track to keep everybody together, to get everybody to cue together at the same time. I just can't go off and do my own thing, because I got to be at intersection A when the click track tells me to be at intersection A. And so I go into the verse in 3, 2, 1. I go into chorus 3, 2, 1. You can't. I can't. Well, I don't want to play the chorus. I'm going to play the bridge. You can't do that. You play the chorus. So I know what it's like. And I don't know how much of their shows click track, but as much as their show that is timed and programmed, it's probably, I'm not saying it's tracks. Now, tracks is audio coming out of the speakers, but you can have a click track without a single bit of audio coming out of the speaker, and it's all in your ear. That little metronome in your ear and some cues to keep you on track of where you are in the song or whatever.
Right.
So I'm not really the person to say whether Kiss has reached their expiration date or not. But if they haven't reached their expiration date, they're getting close. I think they're getting close. The show's always going to be a good Kiss is always going to put on a good visual show. They always have. They always have put on a good visual show. That's what got them to where they are, is their visual show, their live show. Even though their albums and their songs are great, Kiss is known for their live show. So, what do you think, Xander?
I don't think that Kiss has hit their expiration date, but yeah, I mean they're definitely getting close, and I think they were right to announce the end of the road and go ahead and be big enough to at least put a date on it, because I think, and this is all regurgitated stuff, because we hear Kiss say the same thing. If we're the Rolling Stones, we could go until we're 90 because we don't wear all this extra stuff, but because Kiss and all the extra stuff they wear, that's going to slow them down. And Gene, I just can't see Gene at 85 or whatever wearing that outfit and continuing to put on a 2-hour show. Paul, same way. So I don't think they've hit their expiration date, but they're definitely right to assume and know that there's gonna be a day where that happens, and to get ahead of that, I think they're very smart. I think Kiss has said this, and we can all agree that at this point in their career, they're just compared to themselves. You don't really, we don't sit here and compare Kiss to Metallica. We don't sit here and compare Kiss to AC/DC, Guns N' Roses. We don't compare Paul Stanley, Angus Young, Axl Rose. We compare Paul Stanley in 2023 to Paul Stanley in 1983. And that's very unfair because, yes, of course, I'm not the same person I was in 2010. You guys weren't the same person you were in 1993, 83, whatever. We all get older. So as far as, watching them age, yeah, I mean, I've definitely watched them age. Kiss has been old my entire life. I remember when I saw my first Kiss concert in 2003, I was in 3rd grade, and my teacher said, "You're a Kiss fan? You like Kiss? They're so old." They were in their 50s, and now they're in their 70s. So Kiss has been considered old for 20 years. I'm not really concerned about that, but they are the kind of type that gets compared to themselves. So it's real easy to look at Paul Stanley in 2023 and compare him to Paul Stanley of 03, 93, 83, and 73, and it's clear that he is getting older. But when I look at for instance, the condition of Paul's voice, I just think back to maybe on the One Live Kiss when he did Live to Win, and then he toured for Live to Win. They weren't really thinking about Alive 35, Sonic Boom, and the Monster Tour. Paul's only thinking about this album, this tour. So when Alive 35 does come around and they sell out all these tickets, he's thinking, I need to be at my best. I need to be at a 10 now, always, forever. Then Sonic Boom comes out, they tour for that. Well, now I have to be on my game always. Hottest Show on Earth tour, the Monster Tour, it just never stops. So Paul, always giving it his all. He's not a human. He doesn't have the luxury that Brant and I do. When we pop a drum head and break a drumstick, what do? We pull another drumstick out. We replace the head. Paul doesn't get to shop for, oh, look, these are the newest vocal cords on the shop. Let me get these and try these out. He's got what he's got, and he's tried surgery, and he had surgery in 74. He had surgery in 2011. I wouldn't be surprised if he's had surgery during the pandemic behind closed doors just to maybe repair some things. And then he's using these tapes to preserve his voice, because maybe he will sing live these last 2 shows in New York, full live, and then he's just been using these tracks to get him through. Who knows, I think with the tracks, it's, he's damned if he does and he's damned if he don't, because there's fans that say Paul's voice sucks, he needs tracks. He gets tracks. Those same people, well, now he's using tracks, he should just sing live or get off stage. And it becomes a never-ending conversation. So has Kiss hit their expiration date? Not quite, but just like us all, there will come a day. So they're smart to get ahead of the curve. And again, whether they do something else after this, it'll just be lucky for us. But I'm only worried about these final 50. And I'm hoping that they do change up the set list, because even though I don't think, you're right, I don't think they're going to do a whole brand new set list, but it would be really nice to see in these last 50 shows, especially the shows in the States, where the people that are going to those shows are definitely going to be the diehard Kiss fans. And I think we deserve to hear, even if it is just 1 or 2 songs they take out, I don't know, I mean, take out Tears Are Falling and put in All the Way, put in something, Love Her All I Can, put in something that we know they can play and they have played on the cruise. Just put it in the main set. Put
in some of the songs that they play on the cruise that they play during the sound checks.
Yeah, right.
Right, exactly. They play Got to Choose during the sound checks. I mean,
absolutely.
I love Got to Choose. I'd rather hear that than Rock and Roll All Night. I mean, my gosh.
I'd be fine if
they're always going to play Rock and Roll All Night because that's closer. But still, I'd rather hear that than Say Yeah. I mean,
right. Well, I think Say Yeah is just part of the whole, they play Say Yeah, Psycho Circus, they play Tears Are Falling, and they play, of course, Black Diamond, Love Gun. They're playing from every era, which I like, but I think that there is some wiggle room. When we saw them in Fort Wayne right before COVID shut everything down, and they had been taken out, for instance, Do You Love Me and putting in Crazy Nights, and they've been taken out Let Me Go Rock and Roll, putting in Tears Are Falling. Well, this show, they actually didn't take anything out. They just took the set, opened it up, and put in Parasite, and made it a 21, 22 song set list. And I'm thinking, there you go. We know you can do it, so do it more. You said Got to Choose. I said Parasite. They could play anything off Kiss Alive, and it would play Watching You. That's my favorite. You know, that riff. Play anything from Kiss Alive, and it would do so well. So I'm hoping that we get some of that. That'd be really cool. I think we deserve it.
Yeah. All right. The last thing I have to say, and then we'll wrap this subject up, is with the and we talked more about this than I really realized we're going to, but this is topical, this is relevant. With the 50th anniversary of the first album being right around the corner from when the last date is in December 2nd. Why do you think why December 2nd? Why not do what they've done in the past where I know they would take time off because of the cruise in October. And I know I don't think they're doing cruises anymore. Are they doing they're not doing cruises anymore, are they?
They said there is going to be another Kiss cruise. I don't know if it's going to be in October because there's nothing on Kiss Online. So take everything I'm going to say with a grain of salt. There is nothing on Kiss Online right now, but usually the Kiss cruise takes place around Halloween in October. I'm hearing fans saying that there's going to be a cruise in January 2024, which right there kind of guarantees that there will be an unmasked Kiss performing. But they said that there will be more Kiss cruises. They will never perform in makeup and full show, but there will be an unmasked on deck Kiss, I guess. But I don't know if it's going to be in October or January or when, but I do believe there's going to be one.
What I don't understand about all this, and just hear me out. This is my thinking. And I want to know down in the comments, and I want to know what you guys think. What kind of sense does it make that the 50th anniversary of the first, I mean, we've already had the 50th anniversary of the band, you know, playing their first show, being an official, you know, band. But, you know, a lot of times what bands really celebrate, they really truly celebrate is the release of their first album. That's when the band is, you know, because sometimes bands exist 3 years before their first album's released, and you don't see them celebrating a big, huge celebration 3 years before. They celebrate on the release date of their album.
True.
So why is it that the thing that I don't understand is why does it seem to me so lackluster and so weird that this is the end of the band, supposedly, or well, it's not the end of the band. It's the final dates of the end of the road.
Mm-hmm.
When we've already kind of established that most likely it's not going to be the last time that you can ever see the band perform. It's just, hey, this is the last date of the end of the road. But it's so weird. I mean, isn't it so weird that it's like December the 2nd, and I know that's 2 dates that they're bringing it home to New York City, but it's just 2 months, right? Like 2 months and 2.5 months before the release of their first album. And it's not really, it's not like the December 2nd show is not being publicized and promoted as the final Kiss show and not something really big and bombastic and special. It's going to be, for all we know, the same show on December 2nd as the one that's on December 1st, as the ones that's in the months before that.
Right.
So it just seems so kind of non-climactic to me that, and it seems kind of weird that it's December 2nd, that close to your 50th anniversary, and it's just another show. It's just, it happens to be dubbed as the final show, the last show. And I don't even think anybody's really dubbing December 2nd as the final show. They're saying the final 50 shows or the countdown to the end. Countdown to the end of what? Countdown to the end of the band? Countdown to the end of Kiss and Makeup? Or to count down the end of the road tour? I mean,
into the road tour.
Into the road tour. I mean, do we really believe that after December 2nd, that we will never, ever, 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 ever see Kiss in makeup again?
Oh, there'll be something. It won't be like what we're used to, but there'll be something, I'm sure.
Yeah. And like I said, I mean, because I know, you know how the people are going to come out of the woodwork. They're going to be like, oh, you know, they're pulling a Motley Crue. They're pulling a, you know, they didn't sign a contract saying they wasn't going to. That was just a PR stunt.
Right.
But I don't know. It just seems kind of
I think
half-assed, I guess, is the best way. Pardon my French. Yeah, I know YouTube is getting real particular about cursing. That's why I try to watch myself. But it just seems half-baked. It seems like, really, this is the best that y'all could do. Why not do this show and just say, oh, we're doing 2 shows in December, in January the 1st and the 2nd, our last 2 shows that we have announced, and but we have one final show, because I don't think there is going to be an official. I don't know if there's going to be an official end of the band, and I don't think the official end of the band is going to be capped off by a performance somewhere.
right.
You know, it's like, hey, we're in Central Park, and we're in Central Park, and we performed our last show in Central Park, and at the end of the show, okay, that's it, we're done. I don't think that's going to be the case. So I don't know. Thoughts on that?
I think they're going to release a box set of their entire catalog, special edition, for $125,000.
Sold.
That's the big gift to you. This is for you. For you, the fans. $125,000.
The fans wanted it. We gave it to them.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Well, they come with stickers.
I don't know if they are really even, thinking about that, which sounds kind of odd. Why are they not thinking about that? I think that when the original farewell tour, or the end of the road tour, it was supposed to end in July 2019. So I think as far as the December 1st and 2nd day, I think they're just looking to, maybe Madison Square Garden's booked up in February 2024. Maybe they can't get the date on the 50th anniversary. Maybe I think they're just trying to wrap up this end of the road tour so that they can be off the road and not having to tour the world over and over and over again. I think that, if they want to do something in the future, like maybe a one-off small performance or a televised, that'll come later. But I think that as far as the anniversary of the first album, I think we're going to get a box set. I think they're not even thinking about, let's do a performance and a whole special behind it. Let's just do what we always do, and let's sell commemorative merch. Whenever there's an anniversary, there's going to be a plaque, a first album plaque. There will be all the merchandise that they do. I think the next box set will probably be the first album. It just makes sense because it'll be the 50th anniversary, and they can do a whole lot with that. And I personally think that they're just going to wrap up the end of the road tour and let that be its own thing, and then whatever comes next will come next. And I think they're already thinking about, as far as the first album goes, who knows? I think it could be a box set. At least I hope so. That'd be really cool.
I hope that is definitely a box set. I hope Lick It Up's a box set. I know that's not a discussion for this video, but I hope Lick It Up's a box set, and I think there's a lot of stuff they could do with that, and I hope the first album's a box set. There's a lot of stuff they could do with that, and I think it'd even be cool if they could somehow work it in with the rights, where you get a release of Wicked Lester and the demos, the Eddie Kramer demos, all inside of that, plus all the stuff like reproductions of posters. Paul and Gene, they keep everything. Reproduction of Gene's notebooks with all of his notepad with all of his handwritten lyrics in it. They have the stuff. So
all his Polaroids.
All his Polaroids, yeah.
Gene's Polaroids.
Yeah. You would think that would have been in his vault.
You're right.
That might have been worth $2,000.
I mean, you think, just imagine how it would be if that really did happen, though, when it was supposed to happen. I wish we can fast forward, because it would have happened already. And today it would have been like, oh, remember? It was like, and then we would know what the hell's going on. But the whole COVID
I see it.
Screwed it all up.
I see a possible 50 year celebration, week long or 2 week long residency in Vegas
Mhm.
sometime in the year 2024. It may not be at the beginning of 2024 because I know that kind of stuff takes up, but I think there'll be some kind of celebration of the 50 years of them being a band, and
Gotta be.
and then I don't think they're going to officially. Honestly, I don't think they'll ever officially disband. I think that they'll just quit recording and they'll quit touring and they'll just do one-offs here and there. Like you said, if Honda pops up and offers to pay them a couple $1,000,000 to do a show for one of their corporate family days, they'll do it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, they'd do it.
And
They're not going to say no to
and
money.
and if you're Kiss, that's like absolutely hell yeah, I'll make $1,000,000 to play a show at my age. I mean, like that's what I
Yeah,
think
right.
they're thinking is like they could have stopped years ago, but the fact that any of these newer, younger artists could be taking their spot at the head of the every time Kiss performs a festival, they're the headliner. Any other band could take that spot. But
Mhm.
if you were Kiss, I'd be like, hey, I'm not going to be here one day, so I might as well have as much fun as I can. And if people are asking me to be the headliner, uh, might as well say yes. That'd be awesome.
Right.
I
All
don't
right.
blame them.
All right. So that's my topic. So let's talk about Xander. So let's go to our next subject, our next topic. Let's talk about Xander. And Xander, we want to talk about Kiss videos.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
you want to take the lead on it?
Sure. Yeah. Jeb and I were actually wanting to do an episode on our podcast about Kiss music videos, but we had never got to it. So I thought, well, we need to do it now because Kiss has made some pretty awesome music videos. They've made a couple that maybe aren't so awesome, but I wanted to just go around and talk to everybody about. We'll start off with the first Kiss music video we ever saw, and then I want to go back around and talk about maybe just our favorites. But let's start off with just the first Kiss music video we ever saw. And Brant, do you want to start, and then we can work our way around clockwise?
Yeah. The first Kiss video, the actual music video that I ever saw on TV was on MTV. I saw it when it premiered, and it was "I Love It Loud." That was the
Oh,
first video. That was the first Kiss video that I saw. Um, and what's funny is Kiss had released videos for Dynasty, but I never saw them. I didn't see
mm,
the videos for Dynasty, like Sure Know Something and I Was Made for Loving You. I don't remember seeing those videos. I saw them later after the fact. But the first video that I know that I remember seeing the first time, and I saw it the very first time it played on MTV when it premiered, was "I Love It Loud." And that video takes me back to being, 13 years old. Seeing Gene, that very first time that you see Gene on the TV, because it's got for that whole little bit of the opening scene, and then the drums start, and they start with the "Stand Up, You Don't Have to Be Afraid." The whole yeah, 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 yeah. You don't really see Kiss until the kid goes and sits down in front of the TV. And
mm,
the very first time I think you see Gene, he's actually saying the word "Street Boy, no, I never could be tamed." Um, I remember that. I still remember that look. Ace in the video with his hair still kind of short from the elder sessions, and I remember that video. It's just so awesome. That whole video is just so cool. The kids at the end and Kiss at the end, looking like zombies.
yeah.
Just a cool video.
Was
But
that the
yeah, "I
first
Love It
time?
Loud" was my first video.
Was that also the first time that you heard the song? Was when you were watching the video?
No, I had heard Creatures. I think I
Okay.
owned Creatures at the time.
Okay. Gotcha.
But no, it wasn't the first time I heard the song.
Okay. Gotcha. Right on. Right on.
Yeah.
All right, AJ. What about you?
Well, that was a weird thing because, like, videos. I didn't know anything about videos until, well, the word video until MTV came around, and my buddy burnt me a copy of this Kiss videos. I'm like, oh, cool. How many do they have? Well, a ton, apparently, And I thought it was "I Love It Loud" because that was the same thing, But I remember seeing A World of Heroes on Solid Gold, and I think that's a video, right? Where Gene cries at the end.
Yep.
That's technically a video, isn't it? So that's probably the first one I saw.
Okay.
And I thought it was I Love It Loud. And I was thinking about it, like, well, I saw A World of Heroes before that, but it wasn't on MTV, or it was on Solid Gold. This program from the early 80s. So
yeah,
I would have to probably go with that. But if that's not a video or technically a video, then
that counts.
Sure. And
that counts. So had you heard The Elder already? Had you heard The Elder?
That
already?
Was a weird thing. I saw that on Solid Gold. I saw the 5 days that originally premiered that where they did that, but I didn't get the album until years later. I don't know why. But I mean, I had Kiss albums before that. I had Live too. I had the Peter and Paul solo albums, and Creatures I got when it first was released. I just never got The Elder. I don't know why. Maybe because it was turned off by Gene crying. I don't know.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Because I remember that Solid Gold episode.
Yeah, me too. Anything with Kiss when I was a kid, my parents would Kiss is on, even if it was just like a mime, someone with white paint on their face. It's Kiss, like that's Kiss. No, it's Marcel Marceau.
What about you, Xander?
The first video that Jeff and I both saw actually was Unholy, which I believe that's the first video that's on Kiss Extreme Close Up. And our parents had a copy of Kiss Extreme Close Up. And when we started expressing interest in Kiss, they popped that in. Dad would pop the VHS in for Kiss Extreme Close Up, and we would just watch that kind of like Blue's Clues over and over and over and over again. And the first video in Kiss Extreme Close Up is Unholy, because at that time that was the current Kiss. So the first video we actually saw was Unholy, which is kind of odd because obviously Kiss is a makeup band. So the first video we saw ended up being a non-makeup music video. But that's actually kind of what led me into the next question, which is what is some of our favorite, maybe our top 3 favorite Kiss music videos are, because there are tons of music videos and clips that are shown in Kiss Extreme Close Up. And so if Unholy is one of my favorite Kiss music videos, one of my other favorites has to be Sure Know Something. We've already talked about I Was Made for Loving You and Sure Know Something, but I think Sure Know Something is the second music video that is shown in Kiss Extreme Close Up. So you get the then current Kiss and then the original Kiss. And so that was, to us, okay, this is what Kiss is kind of now, and then this is what Kiss was. And that that scene in the Sure Know Something music video where it's the black screen, it's just their faces, and they do the kiss and the Gene tongue. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Yeah. For the longest time, whenever someone or myself said Kiss, that was the image that popped in my head, was that quick, almost like a GIF, if you will, that quick 2-second clip of them with the black background, the Dynasty cover. But I've always loved that music video because those outfits were, they were outrageous, but especially Paul's. I've always loved Paul's Dynasty outfit, the cracked mirror, the fact that he's playing the guitar solo. There's a lot to offer in that music video. But anyway, so that's one of my favorites. And then I'll go ahead and list my third one, and then we can move on to somebody else. So my third favorite, or one of my top 3 favorite music videos of Kiss, has to be Rise to It. That's also in Kiss Extreme Close Up. And that already is a good song. I love Hot in the Shade. I think that's a great album opener. It's a great single, but what a fun video that is. There's a moment where Gene and Paul are just, they're making eye contact and they're smiling because they know they're having a good time. There's some really good close-up Eric Carr shots. It's a great performance video. If I'm ever feeling, down in the dumps and I need something to bring me up, I sometimes go to the Rise to It music video. It's always a feel-good music video. But I'll pass it off to somebody else. So, Brant, you want to tell us what your favorite music videos are?
Okay.
Well, I tell you, I looked through. I looked through my. I went online and I looked, and then I looked through some of my Kiss Extreme Close Up. Looked through my stuff and seeing videos and kind of looking for the official kind of releases. Rise to It was an honorable mention. it was right there on my list until it was actually on my list until I scrolled through. I knew what my number one was going to be, because it's like I said, it's one that I can't not have that video as number one. But Rise to It was right there until I came across the one that I put in my number 3 spot. And just for so many reasons, I love this song and I love this video for even more reasons. But my number 3 favorite video of all time is All Night.
Okay.
I love that song. I love that song, and the video is just the video is nice, very nice.
I did not expect that. That was unexpected for me. I didn't think you were going all night. That was great.
Yeah. Do we want me to talk about my whole list? Are we going to go around?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'd be easier.
All right. So my number 2 is it's this era that I really love of the band, from the Lick It Up era, the Animalize era. I really love that coming off of Creatures. I love those 2 sister albums, Lick It Up and Animalize are like sister albums to me. And one of the videos that brought Kiss back in really solidly into the mainstream, it was a huge hit for them. It was a huge video. It was an awesome video. And so it's my number 2, and that's Heaven's on Fire. I love the Heaven's on Fire video is so early 80s rock and roll. They look so good in it. And I love Heaven's on Fire. And my number 1 video, it's the first video I ever saw. That, like I said, I'm still saying it's the first video I ever saw. The one that really, man, that's my band. That's my band. And that's I Love It Loud. Because Kiss is just so badass in I Love It Loud. They just are. That was the personification, even though it was Eric Carr in the band. That's the personification of what Kiss was, the Kiss I grew up watching. We got videos with Eric and with Peter in them, back with Shandy and with videos that was off of Dynasty. But I didn't see them till after the fact. I know that I didn't see them until after I saw I Love It Loud. And Kiss is just so much better in I Love It Loud than they are in those other videos. So
True.
So I Love It Loud is my number 1. But man, they've got so many good videos. There's so many I didn't mention. Like Unholy is one that is right there. And God, they had I love the video for Forever. There's a lot of their videos I really love to just sit down and watch. And sometimes I do that. Sometimes I've got a playlist on my YouTube. Well, if it's just Kiss official release videos, and I sometimes I'll just let that play through, and watch those videos.
Nice, awesome. What about you, AJ?
I didn't really pick 3. I know my number 1. I know that much.
Okay,
I like to elaborate
fine.
for sure. I Love It Loud was very awesome as a kid. Seeing that video with the glowing eyes, a little scary, almost a little Sonic. Rise to It. You have no idea how excited I was to hear that they were putting the makeup back on. I didn't think it was going to happen again. Cover Rip. I know I had that. I thought I had that episode, that issue of Rip magazine with them on the cover, and I would just stare at it and be like, someday, But
for sure,
my favorite one, I can't believe no one said it. Come on, man. Early 80s, post-apocalyptic times, Mad Max times, all hell's breaking loose. Come on.
Yeah.
Too Young to Fall in Love time.
Yeah.
Same director, apparently. Obviously. Oh my God. A little bit of comedy in there. You got fights, you got eating big turkey legs or whatever the hell they're eating.
Yeah.
That video was so cool. I love that. I love that stuff when I was a kid. I love the post-apocalyptic stuff. I love all that. It's the year 1997, and the world has ended, or shit like that. Like, that's gonna happen pretty soon. It's gonna happen. I know it is. We're walking around and everyone's gonna be all like, it's like scraps and just eating shit off the floor and fire, and there's no electricity and stuff. But that's my all-time. And just sitting there, I mean, Lick It Up was cool.
Did we lose you? I think we lost you. Are you still there? Did you drop entirely? He dropped entirely. Yeah, he's gone.
Can you see me or hear me?
We see and hear you. You just totally dropped. We were making fun of you sitting like this, being like this for the longest time, and then you just went to a black circle. And then you just we started making fun of you for being froze, and then you just, yeah. Did you literally just freeze again?
Oh my gosh, the same pose.
The same pose.
Keep your hands down.
Froze again.
What the hell? Oh my god.
Don't do that anymore. You're breaking your camera.
What the hell's going on with everything? Right?
We all need to do this because that's going to be the thumbnail. We all need to go. That's the thumbnail. That's going to be the thumbnail. All right. So hopefully you've got a stable enough internet connection. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on talking about your topic, Off the Soundboard. So thoughts on the upcoming Off the Soundboard, Poughkeepsie. What I'd like to know is, AJ, what do you want to know? It's your topic.
We've heard 2 clips. What does everyone think about it? The 2 songs they've released is what does everyone think? Or I'm kind of on the fence about it right now. I didn't go out and pre-order it right away. I did order it finally. Things have been a little tight around here, so I didn't go for the super duper edition. I had an Amazon gift card, and I got it off Amazon, so it's coming whenever Amazon gets it. But so far, it's cool that they have a Mark St. John recording. The 2 songs I've heard so far are okay. What was the first one? Creatures. It sounds okay. I don't know what else to expect. I know it's the soundboard, all that good stuff, and but I'm a little like the solo was kind of I thought, in my opinion, and then they just released War Machine, and I don't know. I got to say, I don't know if it's hands hurting or if it was a bad recording, but the solo on War Machine, it sounds like he's playing it with his feet. In my opinion, and I don't know if that represents what the rest of the album is going to be like. Maybe it was good that he didn't last as long as he did. I don't know if it's not. I mean, I'm not familiar with the guy's work besides Kiss, so I don't know if he's what to expect. And I think if this was like a 3rd or a 4th release of a non-makeup era soundboard, I might think twice about getting it. But since it's the only one so far, of course you got to grab it because you'd be doomed to hell if the Kiss hell if you don't pick it up. But and the fact that there's 2 songs cut off, but I don't know. We'll see. But I don't know what to think about it. I wonder if there's. I mean, obviously, there's not a whole lot of Mark. If they were going for a Mark St. John concert show, then there's not much to choose from. But I'm sure there's plenty of really good Animalize era stuff that they could have picked. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if it's up there or if it's in the down in the what is Virginia Beach or Beach. No? That's
surely it can't be as bad as Virginia Beach.
I didn't even. I went by you guys and I didn't even bother with it. I was listening to it the other day streaming. That was good enough for me.
There you go.
What do you guys? I mean, what do you think? I mean, you think it's going to be good, or can we just go off the 2 tracks that we've got so far, or what do you think?
I like the concept that they did. I like that they chose Mark. I'm kind of in the camp with AJ. I've not been impressed with the solos on the first two songs they've released. I will say that I like War Machine, the sound of War Machine, better. I was actually looking on the track list earlier because Creatures of the Night, the mix is so bad. It almost sounds like the first song. You know, you've seen any band play, they can do an hour-long sound check. And when they come out to play that very first song, the mix is all wonky. And it usually takes them a good part of the first song to get the mix right. And then maybe even in the second song, especially if they switch vocalists, they might not have the second vocalist turned up as loud as they should be. And you're going to have some minor tweaks even in the second song. So, I mean, Creatures is actually the third track on the album. They play Detroit Rock City and then Cold Gin. Cold Gin's kind of a lengthy song. Detroit Rock City's kind of a lengthy song. You would think that they would have the mix a little better by the time they got to Creatures. But I do think that the mix of War Machine sounds a whole lot better. I think Gene sounds great. I think Paul sounds good on Creatures. I just think the mix on that song's all wonky. I'm curious to see how Mark's going to sound through the rest of the tracks. If he's going to be just a basket case on every song, or is he actually going to have a solo on there that you hear and you go, "Wow!" You know, I'm looking for the solo for something like "I Still Love You." I mean, I Still Love You has a very definitive solo. Black Diamond, what's he going to sound like in that? Love Gun, what's that solo going to sound like? Under the Gun, what's that song? I'm just looking forward to hearing Under the Gun, period. Just period, hearing that. Fits Like a Glove. I'm so excited to hear Fits Like a Glove. I mean, so I'm really looking forward to this release. And so, but I think that between the two tracks, I think if I was have my rathers, I hope that the majority of the album sounds more like War Machine than more like Creatures, because I definitely favor the overall mix on War Machine more than I do Creatures. Everything's a little more balanced on that song. So, me personally, I'm looking forward to it. And I bought the shirt. I didn't go in all in and buy the package, but I did buy the shirt and I did buy the color vinyl, the creamsicle vinyl. And honestly, I've heard some people say, well, the next in line should have been blue. Don't make a blue album that don't have Ace on it.
Facts.
Right?
Yeah.
Wait till you put out another one. Wait till you put out another Off the Soundboard that has Ace on it. Then make it blue.
There you go.
If they do one. So yeah, overall, I'm looking forward to this. I pre-ordered it the day they put it on pre-order, and I'm looking forward to getting it about 3 weeks after it comes out, because that's about the time Crappy Kiss Online will deliver it to me.
Yep.
So what about you, Xander?
It's piqued my interest. I will admit, I'm really glad that Kiss is releasing something with Eric Carr. They did Creatures last year, but we get another official release with Eric Carr. They've always shied away from anything to do with Eric Carr. We're finally getting something with Mark St. John. They're finally doing Unmasked Kiss. I really thought that they were just going to stray away from anything like that, and we were just going to get a bunch of, either 70s or new era stuff, and that was going to be it. So for them to dig deep like this is a step in the right direction for me, in my opinion, because this is why I like this Off the Soundboard series. When they announced it and they said we're doing Tokyo 01 with Eric Singer and Ace, I said never did I think we would get an official release from that random of a lineup. So to get this random lineup, it makes me think that we may actually get a maybe a Peter, Chris, and Tommy Thayer soundboard, which I know to some people doesn't sound exciting, but that was my first tour, and that was such a random era. I would love to hear that if they were going to do something with. They could do anything. I want the excitement, the exciting stuff like this. I loved Des Moines, but it didn't really excite me. I loved, the Rock Nation tour was a good tour, but Virginia Beach, it didn't excite me. So far, this is the only one that has me just as excited as I was for the first one since the first one. I thought Donington was great. It sounded great. Didn't really excite me too much because we've already heard stuff from the reunion era. We already heard stuff from the current era. I'm like, give me something that's exciting, new, that's deep and obscure, and finally we're getting that. And I know that they can't do that forever. They can't just release a bunch of random stuff like this always. But to get it now, I'm very happy. I do think that War Machine was the better single. I almost forgot it was Unmasked Kiss the way Gene was sounding. I mean, I was like, that's Demon Gene. The way he was saying, that's like Demon Gene. If I close my eyes, it's still the Creatures tour, the way I was thinking. The Eric's drums were thick and beefy. Usually these soundboards are pretty thin. So to get a soundboard with Eric Carr on drums sounding this thick, I'm all for it. Brant, you mentioned his drum solo. I think Eric Carr's drum solo on the Animalized DVD is one of the best drum solos in history. I know that Alive exists, and I know Eric Singer has done some great stuff, but that one solo on Animalized from Eric was badass, if I must say. And so I'm really excited to hear the solo he's going to do on this one. I'm excited to hear Mark play. And then when you were talking about the set list, it got me even more excited because songs like Under the Gun, Fits Like a Glove, Young and Wasted, we just don't get those. I Still Love You, I think, was on the Tokyo one. But yeah, I'm just excited because of how special it is in terms of, what's surrounding it. Eric Carr, one of the first Unmasked tours. So that's kind of what I'm looking forward to. And I think it's coming out April 7th. So we have less than a month, but no, I'm excited. I'm waiting. I got the KOL exclusive, like you said, creamsicle vinyl. I didn't bother with anything else. As far as the CD goes, there's a local shop that sells the CD, so I'm gonna get it there. But I must say, I am very excited.
Me too. I think we lost AJ again.
Did we lose AJ again?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh my God, I don't know what the hell's going on here today.
What are you doing, man? Come on now.
I'm gonna throw this. I don't know if it. Are your guys' stuff working okay?
Yeah, we're fine.
Yeah, we can see you now. We can hear you.
So the last thing on this subject is really quick, since this is getting kind of long. What would you guys like to see next off the soundboard? And I'll go first. I would like to see something from the Hot in the Shade / Revenge era. I would like to see something with Eric, and I'd like to see something with Bruce. I'd like to see something. You know what I'm saying? Has Bruce actually been on off the soundboard yet?
No.
I don't think he has.
I don't think so.
So I'd like to see something with Bruce. I don't care who he's with. He can be with Eric. He can be with Eric Singer. He can be with Eric Carr. But I'd like to see something with Bruce. I think they paid homage to, even though Vinny is not on an official box set release, he's on Creatures, and that live Creatures, that's kind of an unofficial off the soundboard because it sounds, you know what I'm saying? You get that sound. Huh? It's a soundboard.
It's a soundboard,
right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of an official, unofficial release of a soundboard on Creatures, if you have it. So I would like to see something with Bruce. It can either be from the Hot in the Shade era, Crazy Nights, even though I'm not the biggest fan of that album. I understand. I didn't go to that tour. From what I understand, it was a pretty good tour. Pretty good set. But maybe let's give Bruce some love. Let's get Bruce in on maybe something from Crazy Nights or something from Hot in the Shade or something from Revenge. That's my thought. What do you guys? What you guys think? AJ, before you freeze again.
I say keep the non-makeup days going, man. There's some good songs in there, man, and I'd like to see it keep going. I think we have enough makeup releases from the first version to the newest versions, to keep us for a while. What do we really have from the non one? Animalize. I say keep the non-makeup things going. Keep the 80s non-makeup things going. So, Asylum.
How about you, Xander?
Well, I 100% agree with both of you. I want to see more Unmasked Kiss. I want to see more Bruce. I want to see Bruce Kulick, period. Revenge would be fantastic. I know we have a live 3, but I don't even care. I would take all the revenge there is to give. But I don't want to take your guys' answer, so I'll give my own. And I know it's going to be the most unpopular opinion, but I want there at some point, not now, not the next one, not the next one, but at some point, I want there to be a proper current Kiss off the soundboard. I was really disappointed with Virginia Beach because I thought that the Rock the Nation tour, even though I didn't get to see that tour, we've all seen footage. That was a good tour. That was a great set list. They were playing songs like "Love Her All I Can," "All the Way." In Australia, they played "I Pledge Allegiance to the State of Rock and Roll" from Psycho Circus. They were playing some great stuff. And what a great way to introduce this new Kiss. And with Virginia Beach, with the quality of the soundboard that we got, the fact that Paul had been singing 3 shows in a row, and it really showed with his vocals, I did not think that that Virginia Beach show was the proper show to do for the current lineup. I was thinking we're going to actually get a current lineup recording that when people hear it, they're going to say, oh, wow, Eric and Tommy can hold their own. They sound great. They fit in with Kiss. You know, remove all the visuals. You can't see Eric and you can't see Tommy in their makeup, but just hearing them, I was hoping that people would say, you know what, Tommy and Eric, they're kicking ass. This is a great Kiss. This was a great tour. What a great soundboard. And it was the exact opposite. It was the terrible quality. Whenever it comes on Spotify, I know exactly when it is, and I skip it because I don't like the way it sounds. So I think that if they think that this new current Kiss is so good and it is so great, they need to prove it with a proper soundboard. What tour would that be? I don't know. Obviously, we probably don't want something from this last tour since most of it seems to be the same thing. Paul's vocals are being piped in, but maybe a live 35. You can't go wrong with anything from Alive. Those soundboard recordings have been released too, from those shows. But I actually listened to some of that stuff, and it sounds really, really good. I think that if there was an Alive 35 release, most people would not complain about the set list. It's all Kiss Alive. The sound quality is great. It's from 09, 08. So there really isn't much to complain about there. So maybe later on down the road, they could do a proper current lineup release. Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all I've got. That's all we've got. So everybody, be sure to check these guys out on their social media. Be sure to check out Kiss Army Things. Be sure to check out AJ's Happy Fun Time channel. And give them guys watch their videos, subscribe, comment down there in the comment section. What do you think about anything that we talked about? And we will be returning in a few weeks, maybe next month, or I don't know, it might be the month of May at this point. It might be the month of May. We'll be returning with episode 3 of season 2 of In Our Heads. And so, guys, thank you so much. Thanks for hanging out with me for a couple hours this evening. I always love getting together and talking Kiss. And we'll see all of you in the next one, guys.
Rock on.
All right.